Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka the Movie Mystic. If you enjoy these film reviews, then please press the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, and stay in the know. Subscribing to this channel means you get to watch the coolest new film industry interviews, hear some groovy film reviews, and get some live streams too. Number 9. Iceland, under my limited impression, seems like an enlightened yet brooding land where intelligence and darkness meet. That is certainly a way to describe the film When the Light Breaks. The film is, in fact, an Icelandic production. I have not seen many movies from this country, but I have seen some. They're always at film festivals and don't make it to my territory, to my knowledge. Perhaps they have played at the Bytown Cinema here in Ottawa, Ontario. But I'd love for this to come. It is maybe the perfect gateway from the Icelandic culture, as it is a coming-of-age story. I imply that there's some broodiness and darkness here, and there is. But it's within this full emotional spectrum, which makes the sweeter moments sweeter and the journey ultimately more fulfilling. If people lived easy lives in movies, it is harder to root for them or to relate to their successes. When our young female protagonist here laughs, we're all happy that she laughs. The movie is a quick one. It's just under 80 minutes. It sets up a style of storytelling and ideally will be a catalyst for all of us to embrace more things that are Icelandic. Number 8. Salmon in the Mountain is a film set in Argentina by a first-time director, Federico Luis, that looks at disability with a compassionate eye without losing the fact that films should be entertaining. You can deal with social issues and tell a funny story. You don't have to lose one to get another. When things are done seamlessly, they are far more rewarding. This is something which hasn't been mastered by the film industry on a big scale yet. The tale here has racy things, politically correct depiction, and good performances. It's an interesting mix, and hopefully it'll be a great success at Cannes, so it can find its way to Canadian cinemas. The lead actor, Lorenzo Ferro, gives a great performance. What a face, what timing, and what a way to tell a story in a way that is captivating as well as inclusive. More actors could learn from him. I will certainly keep my eyes out for Federico Luis movies and Lorenzo Ferro's performances in the future. South American movies are not steady enough in my diet of films. That's something to change for the future. Film festivals like Cannes and TIFF are great for raising awareness of movies from this region. They pick the best of the best, to be certain. If it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't see any of these films. Number 7. Holy Cow had to develop to pay off, but by the end, it is quite fulfilling. Perhaps you will experience it that way as well. It tells the tale of a simple young man who lives a harsh rural life in France. His father dies early on in the film. His mother is nowhere to be found, and his girlfriend dumps him just before his dad dies. He is left to raise his kid sister and start his new life off by working for a family farm. One of the young men dates his ex-girlfriend. He decides to seduce this man's sister after he gets fired. While he's with her, his friends steal her cheese extracts. He tries to make cheese with it, but does not have the license to sell it. The film ends at a demolition derby. This is the perfect place for closure. It is a quiet piece of chaotic destruction, but life continues onwards. The rough environment in which the movie is set won't be for everyone, but it may grow on you. The Cannes Film Festival is a great way to find French films, just as TIFF is for Canadian films. So go in with an open heart, and you will possibly be rewarded. Number 6. Block Pass is a good one. It is a coming-of-age movie from France that deals with growing up poor, dirt biking, and revelations of homosexuality amongst younger friends. Oh, the scandal. Last year, Riddle of Fire played at Cannes, an American movie described as a neo-fairy tale, a very light-hearted sort of genre movie. Block Pass, in a sense, is like the perfect continuation of that spirit for the festival this year. It is a French movie, not really genre fair, but it is played in Cannes and does have a soft, playful spirit that resonates in a relaxing way. Stakes are high within a coming-of-age movie where nothing is too fatal. It is like that hazy moment with a cocktail and a paperback by the beach, but it lasts nicely between an hour and a half and 2 hours. It fades in and out without being a time waster. We get the story of two friends who must deal with the fact that one of them is gay and that things won't be the way that they were before. Regardless, it's important to have each other's back to keep your decency alive. The dirt bike race scenes are fun. Those parts reminded me of the shot-on-video horror film Dreamstalker. So take a bit of that vibe, a bit of the atmosphere of Riddle of Fire and the French location, and you've got Block Pass. Number 5. I liked Mad Max Fury Road a lot when it came out, but never revisited it. That just might be the case with Furiosa, but it was still quite cool, well notched out in quality. Anya Taylor-Joy is perfectly fine here, but Chris Hemsworth was quite annoying. He had a great role as well, but thanks to the MCU, he is culturally backwards. I saw the film in the Lodge Theater at the Cinema. The audio was simply incredible. The first time I saw a spectacle movie like this in Europe, it was in 2003 in Paris. I saw Terminator 3. A memorable experience, but the Cinema is a phenomenal theater. Furiosa is as rough as one of those big spectacle movies can get. It's got plenty of brutality as well as heart. It's cool to see the pale psycho bad guys again, and to be rooting for them was morally intriguing. Furiosa develops the world of Fury Road nicely without matching it in quality. That's okay though. It's a perfectly fine spectacle film with cool looking stunts, freaks, and a dark vibe. Maybe the next one could take place after Fury Road, or if this is the last one, okay with that as well. Number 4. The 20th Century was a very fun and bizarre movie by the talented Matthew Rankin, so naturally, I was excited for the follow-up film from him. Universal Language is just as bizarre, but less in a hallucinogenic sense, and more built into the premise. Canada is the location, but English is exchanged for Farsi. Somehow, this is never explained, and is a seemingly abrupt artistic decision. The set design reminded me of Grand Budapest Hotel or something else conjured by Wes Anderson. It's not so much of an Abbas Kiarostami vibe. There's nothing for me to directly compare this to. It's a very bizarre, singular film. Matthew Rankin adds here as well. He must have set the tone on set with his performance, perhaps, to get some sort of reference point to work with. The world that is created here is integral to the film, but it is confusing, so try to enjoy the humorous experience. If you ask too many questions, it won't help out in a meaningful way. Just try to ponder the experience. Explaining things isn't what surrealism is about anyway. I don't feel like I got it, quote unquote, but eventually I warmed up to the experience. It stands nicely beside the 20th century, and it was solid enough for me to be looking forward to the next Matthew Rankin movie for what it's worth. Number 3. Director Jonas Trueba can create a fine Spanish comedy. The language is so rhythmically beautiful that it makes rewarding for this generic English speaker to hear the symphony of gestures for its nearly 2-hour duration. Normally, I would only think of Pedro Almodovar for this sort of fare, simply because I'm not well enough versed in Spanish cinema. Thankfully now, there is a director who will be on my radar now because poor Pedro is getting old. The other way around nicely weaves a story about filmmaking with relationships and observations. This Seinfeld brand of humor works great in the Spanish language. It seems equally chaotic and even more cultural. I felt compelled through the last year, and the construction of the film made this a fun, breezy watch on a nice day in May. This would qualify as a hangout film. It is a chill vibe about relationships mixed in with some work and what sounds like a rapid-fire delivery of lines to my untrained Anglo ears. The whole movie came and went pleasantly. It made me chuckle throughout. The steadiness of chuckles works symphonically over a few belly laughs, and the entire experience can be described as pleasant. Number 2. Some movies are a day in life of a character, or characters. With the story of Soliman, we get 2.5 days. It's a nice, precise look at a Guinean immigrant in France who struggles immensely. There seems to be a perverse situation where in the West, immigrants who entered illegally are exploited for their labor. I'm a movie guy, not an immigration expert. That is what we see in the film, though. Exposition of hardship in Guinea and non-stop difficulties in France. The last scene is particularly moving and heartbreaking. The whole movie brought us to this moment. The open-ended conclusion assumes no matter what happens, Soliman will only face chaos in his immediate life, whether it is in Africa or Europe. The film presents problems, and it is for the audience to believe in or create some sort of solution to this crisis. We live in an ecosystem. What affects an individual will come to affect a community. We see sheer desperation in the film of one man, and our hearts go out to him. This film should not be accused of sanctimony any more than a documentary could be that is shot with an intent to be objective. There is always presented to be found, and I welcome it with the story of Soliman. Number 1. My immediate reference point for All We Imagine Is Light is the cinema of Wong Kar-wai. There is a rich romantic texture embedded in the shots that hooked me in the cinematic tale within moments. That being said, the film has a contemporary angle. It is a movie of the year 2024, not 1994 or 2000. It is not necessarily an upgrade or downgrade, but of the moment. But because it succeeds, it can be a catalyst for one to explore a similar film. This film is from India and follows 2 women pursuing life, work, and love in all of its lustful and limiting realism. There's a high degree of intimacy in this for an Indian movie. I'm all for it, but it remains a classy affair. This is a competition movie at the Cannes Film Festival. This review is being written before the announcement of the Palme d'Or. The film is a contender as well. It has received glowing reviews. I am saying right now that it is worthy of winning the highest award here in Cannes and the Oscar for Best International Film, and maybe even a nomination for Best Picture. So we will see what happens. But remember what I told you today, movie mystics.